Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you have time, please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up and pass it on to somebody else who might need to see it as well. Now, I wanted to tell you guys that something I think is really important. And some of you already are going to know this because you already experienced it or you go through it. But you know, if you don't heal your traumas, the traumas in a lot of cases will become triggers. So for example, let's say that you were attacked when you were young. Somebody tried to assault you, physically assault you. Now, if you don't heal that trauma through therapy or through whatever method you see fit, every time someone approaches you in a similar manner, you may be triggered that you're about to be attacked again. So I wanted to tell you guys, because I see this a lot with people. I see a lot of people in relationships with other people, and the relationships keep on messing up. And I see this with my clients. I see this with other people around me, and the relationships keep on messing up. And when they sit and tell me about the situation, I'm very clear on the fact that they were triggered by an old trauma and took it out on a new person. So I just wanted to tell you guys, before you end up, in these situations, for those of you who are still healing and working through trauma, please recognize that a lot of times people are not trying to hurt you. People are not coming at your neck. But because you've experienced a certain kind of trauma, you're sensitive in that area. So anything that even looks similar is going to make you go on the deep end, off the deep end. You're going to be very sensitive in a lot of areas, and that's going to ruin relationships. Because you're going to, remember, everything in life is from your perception. So you're constantly going to perceive threats when there are none. You're going to perceive negativity and maliciousness and ill intent where there is none. And you're going to destroy a lot of relationships with people who really care about you because you can't get past, or not even get past, because you haven't healed and released. Because it's more than just getting past it, You haven't healed and released the trauma in the first place. And this happens in a lot of different situations. One lady was talking to me the other day, and she was telling me that one day she had bought this really beautiful dress. And the dress was long and flowy. I love a long flowy dress, child. And she said the color was pretty, and it was nice. And it was like something that you could wear to work, dressed up with a blazer. And it was just really a pretty dress. She wore this dress to work, and she said that she got so many compliments on the dress. She had never gotten that many compliments before. And she said the first couple of compliments, she felt good. She was like, oh, thanks, She said by the 15th or 16th compliment, she was starting to wonder, are they making fun of me? Do they really think I look nice, or are they just, fucking with me? Is this their way of teasing me, or coming at me, or, And I was listening to her like, okay. And she was like, I felt so much anxiety after a while. And I was like, well, what did you do? And she said, I never wore that dress again. And I was like, so them telling you that you look nice made you feel anxious? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so when was the last time someone told you that you felt that you looked nice and they were really teasing you? And she thought about it for a little while, and she was like, you know what? That did happen to me when I was younger. And I was like, do you really believe that your coworkers were teasing you? Do you really believe that they were messing with you? Were they snickering, or were they, oh, you look nice, saying it with a little edge to it? Like, how was it, how was it, given? And she was like, you know what, Queen, it wasn't given maliciously. They were just telling me I look nice. And I was like, so do you think that from that situation when you were little on the playground, you know, and people were throwing shade at you, trying to be smart, you know, do you think that you are still traumatized, or maybe even a little bit, by that vibration? And she was like, not even a little bit, a lot. And she was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I snapped on them for nothing. you know, because she didn't say anything, but she said that, you know, she stopped wearing a dress, and she was kind of standoffish with them after that, because she was like, you know, my anxiety told me they was, you know, teasing me. So like, what's up? And after we talked about it, she was like, you know what, Queen, that was all me. That was all me. She was like, you're right. I didn't get over that trauma, and it was very embarrassing. And she started to tell me what happened on the playground and how she felt. And apparently, you know, her family was poor, and they didn't really have clothes and money, you know, for expensive stuff. And back then, because she a little bit older than me, back then, if you didn't have the best stuff on the playground, the kids teased you mercilessly. I know, because I didn't have the best stuff on the playground either. And this one day, she wore something that she really, really liked, but it wasn't name brand. And anybody who's from the hood knows that name brand is king, okay? So she wore something she liked. It wasn't name brand. She got teased for it, and, you know, it traumatized her. All the kids were around her, jeering at her and shit. So she had never even told anybody this story, or even thought about this story. So we came up with this through talking, that was the trauma that made her feel that way 20 years later at her job in this pretty flowing dress. So if you're holding on to traumas, some of your perceptions is off, like real rap. Some of your perceptions is a little bit off, and you don't even realize it half of the time, because you're inside of your body. So you're perceiving it from where you sit. The rest of us looking like, what's wrong with you? You know? And you're like, no, and this one did this, and that one did that. And nobody's doing anything to you. So if you have traumas in that kind of capacity, it's something that you really do want to heal. Because like I said, in a lot of cases, you stressing yourself out. This poor child was all anxious. She's stressing herself out. And then she basically shut down or shut out her coworkers. So it's like you could have been having God knows what kind of experiences all this time with these people that you shut off on, because in your mind, they were making fun of you, when in reality, they just thought you looked nice in your new dress. So, you know, I've seen this happen on a lot of different occasions. I've even had this happen to me. I was telling you guys recently about one time when I sent Voldemort, is one of the very few times we were talking to each other, and I sent him a link to these men who were modeling big and tall clothes. Now, Voldemort likes clothes. I like clothes. I'm into fashion, things like that. I saw this link, and I saw these men in these fly-ass outfits, these big and tall men. So I sent it to him like, yo, look at these outfits. And he would, like, at first he just didn't say anything. So I sent the link, and he didn't respond. So I was like, maybe he's busy. So I kept it moving, you know? And he hit me up later, and he was like, basically, he snapped on me. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he was like, basically what he said was that the wording, the wording of the article was emasculating. Okay? The wording of the article that I didn't write was emasculating. And I sent it to him to emasculate him. This is the kind of sensitive, unreasonable shit that I'm talking about. Because first of all, I didn't even read the article. I sent him the article because of the outfits. I wanted him to see the outfits because the outfits was knocking. But because he's sensitive in that area, because remember, if a man, in my opinion, a real man cannot be emasculated. You can't take away a real man's manhood, period. But there are certain men who have had problems with women, usually their mama, or women that they liked or was dealing with. Certain men feel like women are trying to emasculate them. And some women do try to emasculate men. Sometimes it does happen. But in this case, I wasn't trying to do anything but show him some pictures, you know? But he did not see it that way, because in his mind, in his sensitive, flipped off mind, I was trying to emasculate him. I was coming after his manhood. I was attacking him with this, you know, this poorly written, and I don't even know if it was poorly written, this supposedly feministically written, you know, article about men's clothes. It was a fashion article, for God's sakes. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I know a lot of people go through this. I've seen a lot of people lose people that really cared about them because of this. I've seen all kinds of things like this happen. Another thing that I see happen is people will keep themselves isolated because of this. They're so sensitive to somebody, and anybody who does try to be around them or tries to care about them is walking on eggshells. You know, in these situations, I found myself walking on eggshells. I had a situation like this with an Aquarius man recently, and I felt like I had to walk around eggshells whenever we had a conversation. So over the weekend, I just decided no more conversations, because I shouldn't have to feel scared, you know, every time I have a conversation with you that I'm going to trigger you and you're going to snap on me. I can't do that cycle of abuse and violence. Never again. So I wanted to point this out to you guys because I keep seeing it. And I wanted to tell you the way to deal with this is to know that trauma is a deceiver. Trauma has your perception, it has your lens off. And it has you perceiving things that are not there sometimes. And your best bet is to heal the trauma. Do the forgiveness work. Do the releasing work, so that those experiences don't keep robbing you of your future. Because that's what's going to keep happening. You're going to keep being robbed of relationships in the present tense and in the future because of a relationship or a situation that went wrong in the past. You're always going to feel like people are out to get you. And most of the time, some people might be. Some people, you know, they are. But most people are not. So think about that as you're moving forward in your lives and, you know, moving into 2020. Think about what traumas and triggers are keeping you from letting other people in. What traumas and triggers are you still holding on to that are causing you to have anxiety and to be afraid where there is nothing to be afraid of? All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who may like it as well. Okay. Also, if you would like to get a reading done, email me, because I would love to do a reading for you, especially now that it's going into 2020. Ooh, I'm going to be doing some more New Year's readings. I have a couple more openings. So if you're interested, email me. All right, guys, all my information will be underneath this video, and I'll see you guys really soon, because I have a lot more to say. See you later.